Hello everybody, it's Gary Hallican here, and I've got something cool to show you today. Today we have a Catgirl Lego-like building kit. And so this comes from Temu, and I've been seeing these on there for a while. There's a whole set of them. There's a Tiger Girl, and there's a nun for some reason. So I don't know if these are based on any particular real series, if they're based on an anime or anything like that, or if they're just original creations for these kits. If you know anything about them, please let me know in the comments. But they finally got marked down quite a ways, so I figured I would get one to check out and to show you here. So it comes in this nice little box, it says Catgirl there, and tells us that we're going to have 223 pieces. And if we look on the back, we have some close-ups of some of the features, like the claws there, and not really much else. It does tell us place of origin is Shenzhen, which of course a lot of this stuff seems to come from there. And but it doesn't tell us anything like a company name or series name or anything like that. So it's just sort of generic Catgirl building kit here. But let's go ahead and open the box, see what's in it, and maybe we will learn some more from that. So in the box, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 bags of parts. So 5 bags of parts there, and it looks like 3 of the bags are labeled number 1, and 2 of the bags are labeled number 2, so maybe you use all of these first and then these. They're mostly in black and red. Looks like we've got a couple shades of red and a couple pink pieces in there as well. And then we've got the manual. So here we go, is the manual. Same pictures on the front and the back that are on the box. And I guess there's a VIPbricks.com as the website for it there. But this still doesn't say anything else related to, what series this is or anything like that. So yes, it looks like you use the bags marked number 1 to build the head and torso, and then the bags marked number 2 for the arms and legs there. Okay. So I will build this, and then I'll get back to you and show you what we get. Okay, we are back with our complete Catgirl here. And the first thing you'll probably notice about her is that she's quite tall, quite a bit taller than I expected her to be, so that is kind of cool. And also you see no problems standing up, even though she has very tiny little feet, so that is very good as well. Definitely a plus there. Aesthetically, she looks pretty cool. You'll see here as she comes back around that it looks like she's got red eyes in here, and she doesn't actually have any separate pieces for that. It's just a clever usage of the bottom sides of the orange hair pieces kind of in a dark recessed area. Makes it look like the eyes there. So there's some clever building going on here to get the look like that. As for the actual build, it's pretty simple, very straightforward. Took just about an hour to build the whole thing. And the only thing that was really tricky about it was the neck. So the only thing to notice is don't put the head ball joint piece all the way into the neck collar piece, because if you do that, then the neck won't fit correctly onto the body. So that was probably the only tricky thing on the build. Otherwise, it was pretty straightforward and seems to be pretty sturdy except for this piece. As you can see here, I think this is meant to represent a bow or a tail or something like that, because it fits right in here on her back. And it was only held on at one stud and kept coming off as I was building the rest of it, and is basically impossible to put back in once she's completely built, because it fits into that recessed area back in there. So I'm just going to leave it off for now. otherwise, she doesn't really seem like she's going to fall apart or anything like that. So she is pretty posable. So let's go ahead and check that out next. Okay, so for articulation, the head is on a ball joint. And so we can get really good movement there. You can see pretty much all around with the head. And the neck will go ratchet forward and back a little bit. So very good movement there at the head. At the shoulders, they just swing back and forth like this. The right one is pretty good. The left shoulder on mine here is very loose. You can see there, swing back and forth. Has swivel at the shoulders. And she has double elbow. So all the way up like that. And then at the hands, swivel like this at the hands. And you could twist there at the hands as well. And you can twist the claws around if you want to get more poses with the hands. She has twist at the waist, but very little. So you see as I twisted it that far, it starts to come apart here. So there you go. So she's not really supposed to twist at the waist. You can see there. Came undone. Okay, so I had to take a second to get her back together there. She's really not supposed to twist at the waist. You think she would be able to because of the nature of how the joint's constructed, but you can't really get much of anything going there. And as you saw, if you twist too much, she will come apart. So at the legs, we've got swing forward and back, and then a ball joint right here, so we can basically get all kinds of stuff with the legs. And then there is a ball joint in here at the knee. You kind of got to hold on to the knee piece to turn it. You can see the ball joint right there. But you can see there we've got basically that far with the knee. And so I talked about it being pretty sturdy, but now as I'm saying that, we're having a couple pieces fall off as I'm starting to pose her here. So maybe not quite as sturdy as I said initially. There are a number of pieces that are kind of held on at one joint. And as you can see here, yeah, she's basically coming apart now as I'm posing her. So disregard what I said before about her being a fairly sturdy build. Basically, she is, as long as you're not trying to pose her too much. And then we do have ball joints at the feet as well. So there you go. She's fairly posable, but posing her is going to cause pieces to come off. So I would suggest getting her in a pose you like and then just leaving it there. So let's do some size comparisons next. Okay, so for the whole video, you have been seeing her compared to some McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. And they're, of course, 7 inches tall, so you can see she's quite a bit taller than them. And then here is a typical 12-ounce beverage can. So you can see how she compares with that. And then here is John Cena. So she is quite tall and looks pretty good, but just don't try to pose her too much, I guess would be the moral of the story here. So that is the Temu Cat Girl building kit. Came with a nice box and ends up looking pretty good, and was fairly inexpensive. Just maybe doesn't have the best play value if you don't want to keep putting parts back onto it. So let me know in the comments if you have this one. Let me know if you have any of the other ones in this set. Let me know if you know anything about where these characters are supposed to be from, and let me know what else is cool, and we'll see you in the next